When you plan to set up your own business, many questions will come up. How to do the planning? How much can I charge to the customer? How many orders do I need? What are the risks involved? In this presentation, we will answer these questions using the key ratios we have introduced before. As an example, we assume you want to open a business providing home-based services. Now, there is one common characteristic of all these kind of businesses. There is no hardware you are selling. And this means you have no cost of sales and the gross margin percentage equals 1. I have set up a simple flow diagram and we will go through step by step. I'm using some sample figures to show the procedure, but you can apply the procedure regardless of what kind of services you are providing. In step 1, we will calculate your operating expenses. In step 2, we calculate your working capacity. Then we have to fix a reasonable PPC, profit per cost. Once we have fixed these parameters, we can calculate the cost per order, CPO, the required order income, and the hourly rate. In step 5, you need to check the competitiveness and also have a look at the possible order income variations and the order income risk. Finally, in step 6, you check the parameters, and if they are okay, then you can start the business. Else, you should go back to step 1 to 3 and revise your planning. Let's start with step 1 to calculate the expected operating expenses. First, you have to fix your targeted personal income. I assume here you want to get $5,000 per month. Then you need to think about necessary investment for the business. It could be that you need a computer and software. I just assume the investment is $20,000 over a lifetime of 36 months. This will result in $560 monthly. Once you set up the business, you have to communicate to the market. The customer needs to know that you are offering this service. Therefore, you have to think about advertisement or setting up an internet page, which will cost some money. I assume $1,800 over 12 months. This results in $150 monthly. Finally, look at all other expenses you are expecting for the business. I assume here $90. Counting everything together, we will have as a result total expenses of $5,800. In step 2, we need to calculate your working capacity. This is necessary because it determines the maximum number of orders you can take and the maximum order income you can make. Assuming 8 hours per day, 6 days a week, and an efficiency of 75%, that means 2 hours of the available 8 hours per day you are spending time with other activities, not providing the services to the customers. Then we can calculate the effective working hours per month, which is 8 hours minus 2 hours multiplied by 6 days per week, 4 weeks per month, resulting in 144 effective working hours per month. In step 3 of the procedure, we fix a reasonable PPC, the key ratio profit per cost. A PPC below 10% is dangerous, as a variation or uncertainties of 10% in orders will result in losses. A PPC above 30% gives some flexibility in seasonal order income variations, staying profitable. If the PPC is between 10 and 30%, we need to check the relative order size to be lower than the selected PPC, and also we have to have a look at the customer and project risk to be lower than 100%. For a start, we take a PPC of 30%. Having fixed these parameters, in step 4 of the procedure, we now can calculate the cost per order, the necessary order income, and the hourly rate using the relationships we have developed in the previous parts of the presentations. CPO is gross margin percentage over PPC plus 1. We get as a result 77%. The order income is expenses over CPO, resulting in $7,540. The delta order income break even is $1,740 and the hourly rate is $52. Before we can continue with step 5, we have to look at the concrete business. As an example, I say we want to earn the money by giving private lessons. As we found out from our plan, the hourly rate is $52. We need to charge our customers $52 in order to achieve the parameter of the business plan. So now we have to check the market whether this rate is reasonable and competitive. Let's assume the rate is competitive and we plan to give a lesson with a duration of 1.5 hours or 90 minutes. Then we can calculate that we have to charge $78. The maximum number of lessons per month are 144 hours over 1.5 hours, resulting in 96 lessons per month or 4 lessons per day. The minimum number of lessons we have to give in order to break even is 96 minus our delta order income break even over the hourly rate of $78, resulting in 84 lessons per month or 3.5 lessons per day. That means 4 and 3 lessons every other day. Probably we will get customers asking for a regular lesson, let's say 2 lessons weekly, 4 times a month. Then the maximum number of customers we can take are 12 and the order size will be 8 lessons per month times $78 per lesson equals $625 per customer per month. We can calculate our order income risk. If we lose one customer, the customer risk will be $625 over our delta order income break even of $1,740, resulting in a customer risk of 35%. Of course, if we lose 2 customers, the customer risk will double. The relative order size is $625 over our required order income of $7,530, resulting in 8.3%. As a result of our 6 steps in the procedure, we come to the conclusion that the plan looks reasonable and we set up the targets and start our business. Target income is $7,600 per month. The expenses are $5,800, giving an operational result of $1,800, corresponding to a profitability of 23%. Our offer is 60 minutes lesson for $60, 90-minute lesson for $80, as a package 2 lessons weekly, 4 times a month, $625, and as an alternative package 1 lesson weekly, 4 times a month, $310 per month. I hope in this short presentation you got an idea how to apply the key ratios and how you can start a simple business planning.